Lyndsay, we're going to talk about your inspirational story. Nice easy one to start off with. Tell us about your career in a nutshell, if you can.
In a nutshell, so 20-something years in communications. I've done 3 companies in that time, which is quite unusual for being so few, apart from the fact there are obviously so many people in William Hill that come and stay for a very long time. I started out in a small company where I learnt my trade. It was a small team with about 5 people doing communications, and it was all the aspects from media to investor relations to talking to the government to talking to our colleagues. And I got to the end of 5.5 years there, and I felt that I'd learnt enough in my trade to go and do it for myself. So from there I went to a biotech based in Cambridge. Did about 8 years there and found that what I loved was doing investor relations first and foremost, but as soon as I arrived, I found there were other communications things that needed doing as well, so I adopted most of those. We sold that business back in 2008, and that's when I started looking around for what I wanted to do next, and ended up at William Hill with the most incredible set of circumstances. Came in again to do investor relations first, and then it's just broadened out from there. The more I get involved with the business, the more I get engaged, the more I learn, the more I want to do. And I've now been here for 9 and a bit years, and last year I took on strategy as well as IR.
You listed some of the key moments there. What have been the pivotal moments in your career to get you where you are today?
It's funny, isn't it, when you look back on your career and you look at the moments of serendipity. I think what I had is, I had a sponsor almost in my first company. I had a fantastic opportunity with the first managing director I ever worked for, when something happened and we needed to write a press release. And he phoned down to the press office and everyone was out that day. So he said, "Can you ask Margie to come up?" And I said, "Sorry, no, she's out." "Can you ask Alistair to come up?" "No, sorry, she's out." "Can you ask Karen?" And we finally got to the place that goes, "Oh, well, if you're the one in, you better come up." So I went upstairs, he briefed me, and I think I did a good job of writing the press release that he wanted, and I think I really surprised him. And because of that, he was then very supportive of developing my career very rapidly within that first company. I had someone very similar in the second place, the new CEO that I was working for. And what was great with him was he just gave me so much freedom, so much scope to be able to develop my career. He didn't just want me to do a very narrow role. It was, if you see it, do it. And actually, I think I've had the same at William Hill. I think whenever I've seen something that I think could be better or could be done differently that would ultimately be better, I think I've always had support in terms of being able to do that. But what's been great for me is always to have someone there who has believed in me when I've said this is something that I think needs to be done, and then has given me the scope to do it.
Obviously you've mentioned the support you get at work. What about the personal drive and the ambitions and the values that you hold in terms of your career?
I guess what comes from outside of work is very much how I was brought up, and a lot of that was about actually having a great attitude towards work, that real work ethic, and feeling passionate about what you do. Because I think the things that have helped me most are my attitude, and then the fact that I really love building a network in a business. It sounds a very formal term, but the reality is it's about wanting to get out there and get to know a business and get to know the people in a business. So I think it's about the attitude that says, I don't have to have a planned career. I don't have to work out exactly what every step is along the way. What I have to be is open to opportunities and then ready to grab them whenever they actually come up. And in a lot of ways, that piece of being interested in people comes with that. And from that comes a lot of those opportunities, because the more you're out there talking to a lot of people about what's going on, the wider your horizons are, the better able you are to see where you could actually contribute something more. So I think those are the pieces that have helped me most.
You strike me, you always do, as a really positive person. What have been the biggest challenges in your career, the biggest obstacles to get over?
I think the biggest obstacle has always been me, and it's always been about my self-belief. And it's actually having the confidence, which in a lot of ways only comes over time, of being able to say, actually, I trust my gut instinct, and my gut instinct is right. And in my early career, I can remember feeling that I had to trust someone else's view, someone else's opinion, because they'd been around for so long, it felt as if I needed to be learning from them. Actually, as I got older, I started to appreciate that my instincts were very strong, and I think what I could have done earlier is trust those instincts more and have the faith in myself to play them through. Because if you play them through, you can actually see for yourself whether it actually works. But actually what I got was, I got that confidence over time anyway. And I think a lot of people talk about the most successful CEOs, the most successful leaders often end up being the ones who can most trust their own instincts. And it's probably the best thing you can actually follow. So for me, holding myself back has probably been the biggest issue, and getting over that confidence factor.
Now, does that cut through, is that just because you spend a lot of time at an organisation, or would that cut through whatever role you were doing, that confidence, whether you were in a different role at William Hill? Would you still have that confidence, or do you have to be in the role for a while?
Do you know, that's really interesting, because at the moment I'm having taken on an expanded role. I'm in a space that is not entirely natural or comfortable for me. But I guess what I do have is, because I do know the business well, because I also know that I don't have to have all the answers, because I can go and talk to people in the business, pull people together, and often find that the answers are so much stronger when you've got a lot of people who are inputting. And there's so much passion across the organisation that actually it's great to be able to tap into that. And I think the answers are better when you're taking views from a lot of different places. We talked about diversity a couple of weeks ago in terms of International Women's Day. And I do think diversity of opinions around the table are so valuable to getting a really robust answer to things.
What inspires you most about your new role within William Hill?
The bit that I'm most excited about is sustainability. And we talk about how do we make William Hill a more sustainable business. One of the things that really excited me when I joined William Hill, and that has just got more and more exciting as I've gone, is that respect I have for the William Hill brand. We've been around for 80-something years. And I love the fact that what we're now talking about is how is William Hill here for the next 80 years? Really thinking long term, and long term starts with putting the customer right at the heart of it, our eyes on the customer, going, we will only be a strong business if we really deliver what the customer wants. And it's become really interesting to see how big a shift there's been in terms of within the organisation, how much people have then said in the last 12 months, well, that means we're going to have to really think about things like problem gambling. We're going to have to really think about what does good look like. And the piece that excites me in all of that is the more I talk about this, the more passion I find within the business. I think everyone wants to feel that we are a good company. Everyone wants to work for a good company. We give a lot every day. And to be able to feel that we're proud of the business that we're working for because it's doing the right things for its customers is so energizing. And I just feel that there's a lot of latent energy within the business that I'm hoping I can help people tap into, that turns into really practical solutions for our customers.
I started by asking you to encapsulate your entire career in a nutshell. What about encapsulating why William Hill is a great place to work?
For me, the biggest thing is the passion. And I find our new values really interesting, because actually I think that passion manifests itself in a lot of those values. I mean, for me particularly, it's the fact that people are always wanting to get better. That piece of it'll do, will never do is just so ingrained in the people that work for William Hill. And what naturally then goes with that is the passion to want to pick it up and run with it, that piece of owning it and wanting to do something a bit better every time. I find that in every part of William Hill, and that passion makes it such an engaging place to work.